Hello and welcome to Unit 5. My name is Steffen Wolf. I am Product Manager in the area of Central Business Configuration, and I'm going to present the topic of scoping experience, containing what is part of scoping and how scoping is done, and what the current limitations are. So the first activity a customer is doing during an implementation project is defining the scope. And they start with choosing the countries in which the chosen business processes are being run. You can choose one or even more at once. And then you continue with a selection of predefined scenario bundles. This is a set of scenarios mandatory for running a business like professional services. So you need to know that the term scenario is used as a synonym with the existing term scope items, but it's just a synonym. The underlying content is unchanged. On top, customers are able to choose additional non-standard scenarios on the UI, and the central business configuration ensures that the chosen scope remains consistent. So, as said, the selection of countries and bundles is mandatory, and optionally, customers can choose then non-standard scenarios. There is a special handling of the group ledgers IFRS and US GAAP. They are now handled as separate non-standard scenarios. So this means they need to be chosen by intent, and they are now handled as a scenario. There are constraints behind. This means these constraints ensure that these scenarios are selected consistently. This means either one of the other can be chosen, and the one that is not chosen will be then made invisible on the scoping UI. There are also license-dependent scenarios. They are currently hidden from the front end, so they need to be ordered via ticket by the customer explicitly. So let me now show you how exactly scoping is done. Therefore, I switch to a demo, and the first screen you're seeing here is also the entry screen for a customer. And as mentioned, the first activity as such is the scoping. So you start with doing scoping by clicking on the activity and executing it. And then we are led to the selection of the countries. So in our case, we go for 2 countries. Let's say we choose Denmark and Germany as country scope. And we continue with done. And we choose here to go for the scenario bundle for professional services. If I'm clicking add to scope, then all the included scenarios are also being selected. You can see this on the lower hand side of the screen. In addition, on this screen, you're able to use filters. The first one is filter for line of business. So you can choose to see only those scenarios that are relevant for the appropriate LOB. In addition, you're also able to choose a filter for roles, so then you can see just the scenarios that are valid for a specific or more roles. In addition, there is a built-in link to further documentation for a specific scenario. So let's say we want to get some more information on accelerated customer returns. By just clicking the title of this scenario, you are led directly to the Best Practices Explorer, giving you all the information that is available here. To see now what is part of your chosen scope, you can choose the so-called scoping basket on the upper right-hand side and simply click on it, and then you get a summary of all the chosen items on this screen grouped by the LOBs. You can also drill further down in the selection to see some more items over here. There is also the other screen, the features and function screen. This is just another view on the scope you've chosen so far. Now it's grouped by business area and also business package. And let's say this is already the scope we want to go for. We are now returning back to the project activities and the already known entry screen. We now say that the activity is completed, so we mark the status as completed. It's here. And we simply close this window over here, and now it appears on the right-hand side as a completed activity. And the last thing we need to do to complete also the scoping part is now setting the milestone scoping finished by just clicking on it and confirm this over here. And with that, I will jump back to the slide deck. For your reference, I have screenshots attached. If you're just flipping through the slide deck, you already have all the things I've shown in the demo also as screenshots available. So I've said the last activity is setting the milestone scoping finished, and by doing so and clicking the confirm button, there is a background job starting, which then calculates the relevant customizing and also relevant fine-tuning activities depending on the chosen scope. This takes a few minutes until it's completed. You will see once this is completed when the appropriate milestone icon in the phases and milestones section turns into green. Then you're done and you can continue with the next phase and the appropriate activities in the next phase. So what you also need to remember is that there are some limitations with the current release. So at the moment, we do not support the scope extensions either for countries or scope items. So scenarios cannot be done so far. And there is also no support for public sector. This will also come in one of the subsequent releases. And with having said that, you learned during this unit what is part of scoping and how scoping is done and what the current limitations are. So I thank you very much for joining this unit, and you will now meet Meltem Karaman, who will present the topic of configuration experience in the Explore phase. Thank you very much.